It's called The Peace One Day, an inspirational session with Kia Scherr. I'll introduce her in just a bit, but we'll be regrouping in another 5 minutes. At the Images Retail Forum, this is one unique session, and I have the privilege of introducing it. And there are many reasons for it, given the way that we've been talking about business, talking about returns, talking about return on investment, online retail, offline retail. Lots happening all around us, but there's something which we all, in some ways, forget. And the speaker this evening, for the next 20 minutes, is one person with who I can at least claim that I have a connect because of the reason why she is here, or the episode because of which she is here, is the same episode I was connected with in a different manner. I would like to call upon Kia Scherr to take the stage. Kia, may I welcome you to come on stage. And as you're walking up, please give her a round of applause, because once you start listening to her and hear her history and her story, you will know what I'm talking about. In one line, Kia, you and I are connected through 26/11. Yes. 26/11 was the Taj attack, or the terror attack in Mumbai, and my experience is nothing compared to what she had to go through. If I can say it to the public, Kia lost her husband and her teenage daughter at the attack at the Oberoi's. And if you haven't seen her on TV in the past, you've missed a lot of interesting conversations she's been having with Indian businessmen, Indian TV anchors. She wasn't here. I believe you were in the US when this happened. And her husband and her daughter were killed by the terrorists on 26/11 terror attack in Mumbai. Why I am connected? Because I was one of the first journalists covering that attack out of the Taj Hotel. I was posted there for 5 days non-stop with no food, no water, just reporting, telling Mumbaikars what was going on in their city. It was horrible, it was tragic, but the reason I admire Kia and the fact that she's talking about peace after having lost her close relatives, close family, is that she feels that business is one way to achieve peace. I should not steal her thunder. I should let you do the talking, Kia, but it's a privilege and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your stories and your mission. Over to you.
Can everybody hear me? All right. Well, this is an interesting opportunity. You know, the last time I was here at the Renaissance Hotel, I had the opportunity to meet the Dalai Lama, and it was a conference about compassion. They were actually celebrating Compassion Day, and they had various people here, and His Holiness actually came here. That was pretty amazing. So I managed to make my way up and shake his hand. He certainly personifies compassion. But I find myself here, and lately here in Mumbai, I find myself in places where I never expected to be. I never expected to even be in Mumbai. I spent a dozen years living with my husband and my daughter in a meditation sanctuary in the foothills of Virginia. We had decided to give up the rat race of Washington, D.C. and simplify our lives. And we wanted to create a meditative focus. And we were involved in utilizing technology for the meditation process and creating retreats. And there are people from all over the world that participated in these retreats. And because the spiritual director there had a history in India with his spiritual development, he spent 12 years here studying with a traditional master of meditation, who asked him to modernize it for Westerners to make it more accessible. So a group of 25 people from Australia, the United States, and Canada gathered together at the Oberoi Hotel for 2 weeks to tour the city, go to temples in the evening, meet for meditation and what they call satsang, and experience India, the beauty of India, which you all know what that is, and the spirit of Mumbai, which you all know what that is. 10 days into the retreat, they went to dinner, and they were staying at the Oberoi. So they went into the Tiffin restaurant. And probably about 10 minutes after they were there, terrorists, after hearing firecrackers and things like that, and you all know these stories of how everybody thought it was a wedding or firecrackers, or at the worst of a gang war. And everybody was reassuring the guests, no worries, no worries, no worries, it's fine. And then the terrorists ran around the corner and everyone just dove under the table. And you know what happened. So they just went around the table one by one, and everybody except for 4 people in that restaurant were killed. The 4 people that survived were under the table with my husband and daughter. And the staff brought them out, got them in taxis, taken them to the hospital, and they survived. I was back in Florida visiting family for Thanksgiving, and we had a report that my family was missing. Now, this is an important part of the story, and the reason why I actually ended up here, because to me, this is the power of connection. It's the power of media, and it's the power of human compassion. It's the power of what's really in our hearts as human beings. When my family was missing, my son posted their photos on CNN iReport, just in case they were unconscious somewhere with no ID. Immediately, emails began pouring in. Prayers, meditations, messages of goodwill from all over the world within minutes. And then, of course, it was on Wednesday we heard the news, and on Friday I got the call from the U.S. consulate. CNN called and said, "Can we now report it's been confirmed?" And I said, "Yes, of course." And then, because it was the Synchronicity Foundation which was sponsoring this retreat, their website got, within a day or two, over 1,000 emails that came from all over the world. So we spent those first couple of days just reading these amazing messages of love, as far away as Peru and Israel and Australia and New Zealand and all over Europe, and of course India, from all religions, Muslims, Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Christians, and people with no religion at all. What did they have to say to a strange woman that they never met? "We're so sorry for your loss. We send you our love. Islam is peace. Our Holy Quran states that if you kill one human, you kill them all. We're with you." Now, after living a very secluded life for 11 years up to that point, all of a sudden, what used to be, an inner world and the outside world disappeared overnight. There was one world. And the whole concept and that kind of idealized belief that we are all one family after all became a reality for me. And it becomes more of a reality on a daily basis. It was a reality for me. And so it was like getting struck by lightning, and everything was destroyed in my life as I knew it. But I was electrified. And I had all this energy, and there was so much love that just wanted to pour out, because I'm not a terrorist, and I decided to be the opposite of a terrorist, so I was going to love like an extremist. And what does that look like in real life? Well, first go to Mumbai. And so that was my first journey, and I met Mr. Oberoi, and I said, "I want to bring something positive to the city my family loved. We want to form an initiative, a peace initiative, One Life Alliance." He said, "Okay, I will contribute rooms. You're welcome to stay in my hotel as my guest for as long as you like." And that was in 2010, and I spent over 1,000 nights at the Trident in Nariman Point. And Mr. Ratan Tata said, "We'd like to do whatever we can to help you. We'll help you get registered here in India." And that's exactly what happened. We now have One Life Alliance India. I knew that we had to create new kinds of collaborations with education, business, and government, and create new ways of working together, but how? How to measure it, how to make a difference on a large scale, how to really create impact. And there's 2 things that came to my attention in the past year that I'd like to share with you, and I'm going to share with you a very special video of an amazing human being who's managed to create impact on a huge scale to bring the awareness of peace to the world in a major way. His name is Jeremy Gilley. And if you've heard of Peace One Day, I don't know if you're aware here in India of the International Day of Peace. He spent 2 years lobbying the United Nations and created a beautiful documentary about this, expecting to fail. And the documentary was going to show that people don't really care about peace. But he found out that people do, in fact, care about peace. They do, in fact. They created a day of peace. And guess what? It's coming up on Sunday. And that's why it's so extra appropriate that I'm speaking with you now. It's the 17th of September, 4 days, it'll be September 21st. So don't sit there and think, "Oh, what can I do?" Well, you're here. Peace is right here. Of course you can do something All you have to do is smile with all your heart, the first person you see that morning, and you've contributed to peace. And keep doing that all day long, and you've contributed to peace. You all know about the ripple effect. But what Jeremy has managed to do in the course of 15 years, not only to create ceasefire and prove that lives are in fact saved on that day, he's managed to make 300 million, imagine that, people aware and observing that day. So on that day, as you're walking around smiling and loving and forgiving people that you're not at peace with, create that in your own world, you're actually joining hands with 300 million people around the world who are celebrating, dancing, creating events all over the place. And we didn't really have time to organize that this year. Next year, there'll be a grand event on this scale, I assure you, on that day. Maybe even here in this hotel, who knows? But in any case, that doesn't mean we have to wait. We can get started right now, can't we? So I think I really want to introduce you to Jeremy through this film so you'll see exactly what I mean, that we're all in this together. And it's all about partnership. So go ahead and let's watch the film, and then we'll chat some more.
What you've just seen are images from a 15-year journey. So many people giving their support. Now we need yours. I'm Jeremy Gilley. I'm a filmmaker and the founder of Peace One Day. Let me tell you how it all started. In 1999, I began documenting a journey to establish a day of ceasefire and non-violence with a fixed calendar date, the 21st of September. That film was called Peace One Day, and it told the story of how and why the 21st of September is a day of peace.
It is so decided.
As a filmmaker, it really excited and inspired me that the form, the camera, could really drive a process through. The second film I made documented the first ever lives being saved on the day. And that took us into Afghanistan. Jude Law travelled with me. It was a great success. Everybody became involved in Afghanistan, including the Taliban, who agreed not to harm health workers on the day. As a consequence of that, and because of everybody's hard work, particularly the United Nations, 10,000 health workers were able to vaccinate millions of children against polio. It demonstrated that the day was far from symbolism, and that it could work in a place where many thought it was impossible. At that time, the UN in Afghanistan announced a 70% reduction of violent incidents on Peace Day. It blew me away.
The cynic used to say that the day existed, but what difference does a day make? And what I saw in Afghanistan the two times we went was, well, the difference is life or death.
But this is not only a day of ceasefire, it's also a day of non-violence. Because just as important is the violence that's happening in our homes, our schools, our places of work, and our local communities. Everyone, therefore, has a role to play. We had to get the word out. So we decided to build a series of coalitions made up of organisations committed to activating their networks on Peace Day. Non-governmental organisations, organisations committed to reducing domestic violence, students, faiths, media, and the corporate sector. Thousands of organisations were activated by these coalitions across the world for Peace Day 2013. It was the greatest participation that we've ever seen. With the support of McKinsey & Company, we believe that around 500 million people are now aware of Peace Day. with around 8 million behaving more peacefully as a result of being involved in activities on the day. Now, with the support from the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, Peace One Day is running a major campaign in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Great Lakes region of Africa.
I'm sitting at a Coca-Cola board meeting and I'm watching this clip and I see this guy in this and I'm thinking, well, peace, everything we're doing in all these countries is about peace. Jeremy, you have a track record. You don't give up, you don't quit. Peace One Day is the answer.
We're engaging with all sectors of society with a focus around young people, women and music.
I do see the possibilities of change, and I think people need to be lifted at times. Hope is a great energizer. I think the time has come in the DRC for a day when they will be able to live in peace with proper services of education, health and nutrition for children.
We hope to see a measurable reduction of violence on Peace Day by 2016 at the latest. Our concert in Goma, DRC on Peace Day 2014 will help us take the message of Peace Day and this call to action in the region to a global audience.
Well, I think this is an initiative that will be very impactful to nations abroad, our neighbors, and more than anything, our youth. And I think Congo is a great place to actually start this initiative for this year, 2014. And I think September 21st will be in a great place to actually, create the peace, the energy there in the Congo. And I'm very excited to be headlining this concert and also being in a position to where I can, be of impact as far as bringing more peace to the world.
We hope 3 billion people will be aware of Peace Day by 2016. And we need individuals, people like you, to take action on Peace Day and help spread the word. Peace One Day's theme is Who Will You Make Peace With? The 21st of September 2014 will be on a Sunday. By working together, we will improve the quality of our lives and, of course, the lives of others. So, who will you make peace with? Around 500 million people are already aware of the day. Will you help us tell the rest of the world? To begin with, please follow us on Twitter and join us on Facebook. Here's to Peace Day. Thank you.
Jeremy's been very effective in getting that message out. And I had a chance to meet with him recently in London. And because of the project that they're doing in the DRC, I felt really inspired since I've been coming to India for 4 years now, and I could see the tremendous potential to really have a measurable difference in everyday violence in India. If we could move some of that over to India and work with them along with everybody else here, our schools, our businesses, our governments, our NGOs, we can do that. And the other thing that I was telling you about measurement is about the Global Peace Index. And this is another piece that fits into this equation. And a lot of you may be very well aware of this. It's been in the papers. 162 countries measured 23 different peace indicators. Out of those 162 countries, India ranks very low, 143. And most Indians are rather shocked when they hear that because they feel this is a peaceful place because we are peaceful people. Well, yes, but yet we need to understand what it is that comprises a peaceful society. And that's where we can get to work. We can roll up our sleeves to make that measurable difference. We can make that difference because peace is good for business. That's the whole point of why I'm here now. It's been proven, the research is all there. So if any of you are interested in learning more about that, we can have some very exciting conversations about that because there's so much that can be done. So my mission now is to lay the groundwork so that when they're finished with their DRC project in 2 years, we start here in India. And we've got the numbers of people, we've got the resources, we've got the creativity and the intelligence, we've got it all right here. And we could do it, and it will make a difference. So I'm very, very inspired to be here because moving from working in a lot of schools, and now I'm engaging more with business, and I'm finding tremendous receptivity in the business world. It's amazing. And I think because of the times we're living in, everybody's getting it more. And it really is possible, and it's an investment that benefits us all. So I wanted to have one short film to show to you the CEO of Unilever, Paul Polman. I think you'll be very interested to see what he has to say about why he's supporting this initiative and why this is good for business.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Paul Polman, the CEO of Unilever. I first came across Peace one day when I saw their logo on the Lotus Formula One car, which obviously aroused my curiosity. I reached out to its founder, the passionate Jeremy Gilley, who single-handedly has succeeded in convincing governments, civil society, and even the UN to back a movement to put down weapons for at least one day. I then heard him speak at the One Young World Summit in Pittsburgh, setting out his vision for the organization and painting a compelling picture of the need to rally the world's citizens, and especially the young, to act to build peace. Now, Jeremy told me about his idea to build an even broader coalition, including the private sector, recognizing the pivotal role it can play in humanity's survival. As CEO of a company which believes deeply in finding sustainable ways to do business, this obviously struck a chord with me. Our planet faces many profound challenges, and at Unilever we believe that business can and must be a force for good and can make a difference in addressing many of today's global challenges while still seeking to grow. And there can be no growth in an environment where there is no peace. So I'm delighted that Unilever is a founding member of the Peace One Day Corporate Coalition, and hope that other businesses will follow our lead. The success of Jeremy's organization are already remarkable. In fact, by 2016, we estimate that they will reach 3 billion people with their campaigning, nearly half the population of the planet. Now, this alone ought to interest the corporate sector. Peace One Day will undoubtedly take another leap forward with the active support of business joining the corporate coalition. So I hope that you look at the opportunity for your business that the corporate coalition offers and consider joining it. It is an extraordinary opportunity, not only to lend your support to a more peaceful society that will create the conditions for future growth, but also to reach out to the billions of people of whom our business depend. Thank you very much.
So I would like to conclude with just reminding you that Sunday is the day. And this is very exciting because here's something that we can hear all of this and we can begin actually immediately at dinner. We can all drink a toast to peace. And I'll tell you a secret. The first step toward creating peace in our own lives is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to peace because whatever is unforgiven remains locked inside of us. It's a door that's closed. The more closed doors we have, the less growth we have, the less expansion we have. And that applies to business as well. So I think we could ask the question, who will we make peace with? How will we make peace? Who will we forgive? It's as simple as that. So on that day, celebrate in whatever way you feel inspired to do, basically. But I'll just leave you with that. And I appreciate you all for being here and to share this experience for these last few minutes. Thank you.